Hey sports fans, welcome back to another exciting episode of Inside Titan Sports. My name is Eric Kohler. Thanks for joining us. This week we'll catch up with Oliver Twelvetrees and talk some men's soccer, as well as talk to Michael Parsons, the manager of athletic communications. But first, let's get started. It's an exciting time. Men's hoops is upon us. Please welcome back the head coach, Jeremy Schulman. Hey, Coach.
Hey, Eric, appreciate you having me on the show right now.
I'll tell you what, you seem jacked up and excited for hoops.
I am. So, little tangent. All right, growing up, I'm a University of Tennessee football fan, which obviously is a terrible time to be a Tennessee football fan.
Tough loss this weekend.
The voice of the Vols, John Ward, has always said every game day, it's football time in Tennessee. So my dad will always say that. So you know what? Right now, it's October. It's basketball time at Eastern Florida, baby.
I like it. Hey, listen, I wanted to wish you a happy belated birthday.
Yeah, thank you.
Did you have a good day?
I did. Here's the beauty of my birthday. It always falls on the first day of practice.
Nice.
So I think I was born to be a junior college basketball coach because every day, October 1st, that's it.
Well, let's check this out. This past offseason, you had a really great experience. The United States U21 team. Talk about what that was and what kind of experience you got from that.
Yeah, it was actually under 19 national team,
okay.
but close enough. It's same difference. It was a really, really cool experience. I mean, it really was. You know, to represent the country, to put on the USA gear, to coach under Coach Calipari. Tad Boyle at Colorado, Danny Manning at Wake Forest, plus a number of other big-time coaches that are part of the USA Basketball Association. It was an unbelievable experience just being around such brilliant minds, really good people, and obviously a lot of really good basketball players there as well. So it opened my eyes to a lot of things. I think it humbled me even more, made me want to work even harder. And honestly, I just want to say I'm thankful to the other coaches because those are some big-time coaches I'm working for, especially when you also throw in Sean Miller at Arizona, throw in Matt Painter at Purdue and some of the other coaches that are part of it. So honestly, if I had gone out there and they had said, Coach, go get me some coffee, I'd say, you want cream or sugar? But they treated me really well. I mean, they valued my opinion. I got to work, firsthand with all the guys, got to lead them through the drills, got to coach all these guys in the practices while those coaches were able to evaluate to help narrow down the list on who would be on the under-19 national team. So really good experience and very, very thankful and grateful for it.
So when did this take place and what was your role during that time?
So I'll be honest with you, I can't remember exactly when it took place. It's been such a busy summer and fall. I think it was June. It was June. They went out there, I think late June. In my role, I was a court coach. So I actually got to be the one that got to coach all the most of the players through drills. We divided into 5-on-5 teams and got to play games and got to coach. Had different guys every day on there and got to build a relationship with some of the guys as well. So after every workout, every practice, we go into the war room afterward and onto the big whiteboard and start listing who we thought would be able to make the roster or how people fit in, who fit well together, et cetera, et cetera. And my voice was heard, my opinion was heard, and it didn't have to be, and I'm thankful for that.
I think it's a great opportunity for your brand to know that you're part of all those big-time coaches, because you're a big-time coach. Never belittle your success what you do here. Now let's get excited. Men's hoops is upon us. New season. You got a good nucleus that's coming back. 3 starters. Talk about the 3 starters that are coming back for Eastern Florida.
Well, the 3 stars, we've got Ahmed Ali, Shaq Carter, and Eli Abayev. Okay. And so coming off a team that won 31 games, school record and wins, made it to the national championship game, only to come up just a little bit short, it's very rare to have any starters back, more or less 3 starters back. And it's the most starters we've ever had returning, I think, since my first year where we had all freshmen. And it's really exciting to have those guys. They've been through the wars, they've been through the experience. And so my question, for them and going forward is, are they going to be ready to take the next step? Because I tell them often, if we will learn from it and if we'll be motivated, we are the team that can take the next step. You look at Clemson losing to Alabama and coming back to win the national championship game.
Right.
You look at Cleveland Cavs losing to Golden State and then come back to win, and then Golden State losing to Cavs and then coming back to win. And you look at North Carolina losing in the national championship game, coming back to win. I mean, it's the last couple of years, there's been a lot of teams that have gotten right there to the pinnacle only to come up short and then come back the next year and win the whole thing. So I'm trying to motivate our team extra to know that can be us. But it also, we could fall flat on our face if we don't take the right steps.
Yeah, you got to keep that hunger, so you want to get back to the hutch. Talk about some of the additions, the exciting players have come in for Eastern Florida.
Well, we got some great newcomers as well. I think the newcomers are led by two transfers. We've got Silas Adhiki, who is a redshirt freshman from University of Evansville, Division I transfer. Silas is a 6'9", 235-pound Terminator is what he is.
That's
his
great
nickname.
size.
Oh, he's such an unbelievable worker, both in the classroom and on the court. The guys have nicknamed him the Terminator because he just never stops working. He's a machine. Ezekiel Balogun, who's a transfer from Citadel, 6'6", 230, 3-4 type player. Easy had a great year last year at Division I level. I mean, had 19 points and 11 rebounds against Chattanooga. Had 18 points, 12 rebounds against East Tennessee State. 21 points against Samford, but just didn't like the military life at Citadel, and so wanted to transfer. So we're fortunate to have him for a year. I think he's going to have a great year for us. And then we've got a ton of freshmen as well that are going to be outstanding players. And we don't have enough time for me to give the accolades on all the great players we've got on this show, but trust me, we're going to have plenty of time in future episodes of Inside Titan Sports.
I like it. So talk about some of the vocal leaders on the team this year. Who are you seeing needs to step up and lead you guys back to the hutch?
Great point of bringing up that question, because that is actually what we are going to have to get back to hutch, especially in Region 8, where already, 3 of the top 5 teams in the country are from Florida. Potentially 6 of the top 10 or 6 of the top 15 are from Florida. It's an unbelievable region. So we're going to have great leadership to get to where we need to be. And it's also a good time because we just named 2 captains. And if we can still name a couple more, but Eli Abayev, who's one of our returnees, one of our returning starters, and Eli is just an unbelievable, high character, high work ethic, tough kid, and we think he can be a real vocal leader for us. And so Eli has been named a captain for us, and Michael Nuga, who came on strong second semester last year for us with some huge games, backing up All-American Kareem Bruden. Mike Nuga's another one. He's got an infectious personality. He's got a great work ethic, great desire, hunger to win. When we play, those 2 guys are the 2 that take winning and losing more seriously than any. And when I mean play, I mean like a pickup ball, a drill, a one-on-one game, a game of ping pong, whatever it is. If there's 2 guys that are going to be more upset than any others, it's going to be those 2 right there. So Mike Nuga and Eli Abayev are going to have to be 2 leaders for us this year.
So practice started, and you have a jamboree this weekend. Like you said, exciting time of the year. Talk about what it looks like going forward now with the practice schedule.
So, gosh, practice started. I love it. Official practice. It's basketball time in Eastern Florida. So,
I like it.
We've got the jamboree. We're going to play St. Pete, the defending region champs. We're going to play Tallahassee, who's preseason top 5 in the country, and then we'll play Atlanta Metro in the first preseason jamboree. So, I think we'll get a better idea of where we stand right now. And we've had some preseason struggles in the past because we're trying to prepare to win starting in November, not in the preseason. So it'll be interesting to see how we do against talented teams. Following weekend in Orlando, we've got as part of a jamboree, we've got a scrimmage set up against Palm Beach, who's a former rival of ours in our conference. Now we're in different conferences, and they're another top 10 team in the preseason, so we'll scrimmage them. And then we'll play University of Tampa in our final preseason scrimmage, October 25th at Tampa. So that great preseason schedule hopefully prepares to play in the regular season with what a lot of people are calling the #1 schedule in the country right now. So I hope I'm a smart coach by scheduling so tough, but I know our guys love competition, so we schedule everybody and anybody.
And real quick, Coach, talk about Pro Day. That was just a huge hit. Eyes are on the program.
Do we have 30 more minutes to talk about Pro Day? Because I'll do it. So Pro Day was fantastic. I'll try to run through it briefly, but Pro Day is something we started doing last year where we run some drills, we run 3-on-3 action, 5-on-5 action, get as many Division I coaches in the stands as possible to see our guys. Now Pro Day's kind of caught on to a lot of other schools, nationwide, but we had 45 coaches there just in that one day just to watch our guys and got a lot of looks for our guys. So great event, great for Eastern Florida as a whole.
Well, I'll tell you what, Coach, always love your energy, and hoop season's here.
Basketball time in Eastern Florida.
I like it. Coach Shulman,
all right.
Appreciate you. We're going to take a short break. This is Inside Titan Sports.
Create the career of your dreams with a degree from Eastern Florida State College. Earn a bachelor's degree, associate's degree, or college certificate in growing job fields like healthcare, business, and computer technology. On campus or online, you can find inspiration and success. Anything's possible where Titans rise. Eastern Florida State College.
Hey fans, welcome back to Inside Titan Sports. Now it's time to switch gears and talk some men's soccer. Please welcome back to the show our very own head coach, Oliver Twelvetrees. Hey, Coach.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Hey, I tell you what, great bounce back wins after the Daytona State game, and I kind of knew that energy was going to bounce back in a thriller against ASA. Talk about that game and that win.
Yeah, no, I think it was probably the best game of the season for us overall, from top to bottom. You know, we changed our system a little bit and really performed well defensively, defending as a unit, collectively working together as a team to put in a great shift and get that winning goal. You know, in the 88th minute.
Well, now you're 5-2 overall, 2-1 in conference play. With not having that many conference games, each game has a lot of weight to it. What's your goal at the end of the year? What do you got to do to get to chase that cup?
Well, certainly we need to, we want to win the conference. If we win the conference, then we get to host the regional final. If we come second, we go into the semifinals. Third, we go into the semifinals. But if you come first, you get a bye right to that final game. And obviously, we want to host that final game at Titan Soccer Complex so we can have a chance to progress and move on to the districts and then hopefully nationals.
Now, obviously, Danilo, he gets all the press, 10 goals. 24 on his record here at the Titans. Is he the most prolific scorer that you've ever had with the Titans?
Yeah, he has. He has beat the record now for goals, over
nice.
his career goals. That's a great achievement for him, and he's got a lot more to give too. We've still got a big chunk of the season left, and we're hoping he can go on and beat his individual in a one-season record from last year, and then go on and maybe win some individual accolades as well. But as a team, we know, and he knows that for him to get those accolades, the team has to be successful. So it's really, really vital that we put in those type of performances like we did on Friday, down the stretch.
That was pretty good. That was a clean sheet too as well. A 1-0 victory in the driving rain and 2:24 to go. Rosary puts it in. That was a heck of a shot.
Yeah, Haim is an absolutely phenomenal footballer. He's truly gifted and has a big future in the game. And we've been really working with him to be involved in the team in all aspects, defensively and attacking side. And he did just that. And he's come off the bench in the last 2 games as well, and it showed what a positive attitude he can have as well. So he came off the bench and produced, just a wonder goal really to win that game. And you saw the excitement on the boys' face afterwards in the dog pile. And the only thing I was disappointed in that I wasn't in the dog pile with him.
What about the speed of Alex Alexis? I had the fortunate opportunity to do a TV game, the Daytona State game. Boy, talk about the wheels on that young man. He's fast.
Yeah, there's no doubt. We've got a lot of speed all over our team. Alexis is very quick, and he needs to improve his final ball, but he's incredibly fast. Our whole team has great speed, and teams know now. ASA did the same thing that Daytona did. They know that they can't run with us. They can't play us straight up. They have to drop in and defend and make it difficult for us to get in behind them and then hit us on the counter-attack on the break. So that's what teams are doing now, and that's why I was really so pleased with Friday, is that we were patient, and eventually, we broke them down and got the goal that we needed. But we showed good patience in our build-up play and then defending on the counter-attack too.
Well, those bounce-back wins were huge because, obviously you played the #1 team in the country, and Daytona State was ranked 6th. That's got to pay some dividends now as you come down the final stretch with big conference games coming up next week.
Yeah, we go to Daytona on Tuesday, so that's going to be a massive game. We have a good rivalry with them, a good healthy rivalry, and got a lot of respect for them and their program. But the boys have a good rivalry. There'll be some few tackles flying in that day, I'm sure, and it's important that the boys really are up for it and put in a great performance.
Well, that's their ribbon-cutting game, Daytona State. So I think that'd be a great opportunity for a little payback against those guys.
Yeah, certainly. I think maybe, we built up the game a little bit too much the last game. So
Sure.
We're going to try and focus on the process and doing the things we know we can control and focus on those things to do them right. And I think if we do that, the positive result will come in the end.
And as you say, those reps are very, very important because now you can bounce off that experience going forward.
Yeah.
Now you have a big match now Friday. It's a non-conference match, but how are you going to use that game this Friday to prep for those conference games, 3 which are remaining?
Yeah, we're really focusing now, on the new system we've been playing, to really play in the system, focus on the process, make sure we're pressing as a team in this new shape that we have, and really doing the things right when we haven't got the ball. defensively and playing more as a team. Earlier in the season, we were maybe relying on those special players, the Alexises, the Danilos, the Heims, to really create something out of nothing and relying on them to do an individual and 1v1 play. Now we've really shifted our focus to play as a team and to really work with each other, share the ball, create the opportunities for each other, be selfless, not selfish. And if we do that, we think we can be successful. So we're really shifting the process to doing the right things on and off the ball, and we think that's going to pay dividends and give us the results we need.
Now, Danilo, obviously he gets the press clippings because he scores the goals. What about some guys that you don't get the stats? Who are some of the guys behind the scenes that have been very successful this year?
Our whole midfield diamond now of Mickey George, Mickey Ricardo George, he'll sit in front of the back four and he'll win absolutely everything. And this guy is an absolute physical specimen. He'll win. If it's a 50-50 ball, he turns it into a 70-30 for him because he is he's as Jeremy says, a Terminator. For one of his guys, he has some of those characteristics too.
Right.
So, and then Troy Gonzalez, Abdul Gagne, and Oliver Rodenblatt-Lowe, they do the dirty work. They work hard and they win those first balls, win those second balls, and they're very good at possessing the football as well to start the attack. So we've certainly got some unsung heroes, even in the back, Vash Dixon and Max Shearer in the back as well, really supporting Reece and Owen well in the centre-back position. So our team is very strong and deep, especially as we've shifted things a little bit around after those 2 tough losses that we suffered.
Yeah, another thing I noticed too with the television broadcast, Mickey George, like you said, is he was very active. And Rodenblatt-Lowe, I thought he was a good compliment to Danilo.
Yes, he definitely works hard. He gets those second balls. He covers a tremendous amount of ground on the pitch, and he's got that really good final ball. And don't be surprised if you see him pop up in the box and score a couple of goals here late in the season, because he's got that ability to arrive late into the box and score goals, which we haven't seen that much so far. But I know he's got it in him.
Now, does some of these televised games, does it help to get eyes of some of these recruits that are interested in Eastern Florida? Does that help the profile?
No, obviously, the pro day which Coach Jeremy Schulman has done is, a fantastic addition, and we do a similar things in the spring with our ID camps. We bring coaches in, but at the most recent game, I think we had 6 Division I coaches in the stands watching the game. So, the coaches certainly know who the boys are. As a coach, for me, I really try and have the boys focused during the fall season on the season and playing the game, and then after the season they will take their college visits and they'll do their recruiting side. But right now it's me really and my coaching staff liaising with the other coaches, and then I have the boys really focus on the bread and butter, which is winning games, and then after the season they will go on their visits. So no players are actually allowed to go on any college visits during the fall season because we want their full focus to be winning games for Eastern Florida.
Speaking of winning games, you have 4 matches, so set it up for our fans out there for men's soccer going forward.
Yeah, really, we're a halfway point in the conference. 4 teams in the conference. We've played 3, and we've played Daytona at home, Broward away, ASA away. So we need to go back to Daytona, back down to Miami for ASA, and then Broward's going to come here. So we need all 3 to win the conference. If we can go 3 for 3 in those last 3 games, we'll win the conference, and we'll host that #1 seed game.
So that's important right there to get that #1 seed. So you need to just win out, and then you have the tiebreaker against Daytona State.
It would come down to goal difference because they have won 1 game against us already. So it would then go down to the next tiebreaker if Daytona win out. But it's Broward and ASA are solid outfits as well, so they could pinch a game off Daytona. Right now Daytona are perfect in the league, and we're 1 game behind them. So we need to beat them at their place and then hope for a drop points, or it will go down to goal difference.
And where is the national championship held this year?
Yeah, it's in Prescott, Arizona, which is just north of Phoenix. So it'll be a great location to get the boys out and experience something. It's right next to the Grand Canyon, and so something really to look forward to if we can get the wins.
Well, Coach, good luck. We always appreciate your time.
Hey, thanks, boss.
That's all of our 12 Trees. We'll come back and talk to Michael Parsons. Stick around. This is Inside Titan Sports.
Create the career of your dreams with a degree from Eastern Florida State College. Earn a bachelor's degree, associate's degree, or college certificate in growing job fields like healthcare, business, and computer technology. On campus or online, you can find inspiration and success. Anything's possible where Titans rise. Eastern Florida State College.
Welcome back to Inside Titan Sports. It's time to catch up with Mr. Titan himself. That's right, it's Michael Parsons, Manager of Athletic Communications. Michael, welcome back to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Tell you what, you're a man. You're the one-man band for the Titans. You do so much for the program. I don't know how you make time to be with us today.
Yeah, it's busy. It's busy times. We have some really great news. One of the reasons why I'm here today is, we're going to host the Division I women's basketball tournament in Thanksgiving week. So it's a huge kudos to Eastern Florida State College that the Paradise Jam is usually in the U.S. Virgin Islands, and unfortunately because of the hurricanes, they can't have it there this year. And so the tournament came up for bids, and they kind of split it up into a couple different venues. And George Washington University is going to host half of the women's side, and then we're hosting the other half now. So Thanksgiving week, we're going to have some really good basketball.
Well, that is breaking news. So that's pretty good. That's great exposure for the program overall.
Yeah, it really is. And, when they first started talking about it, I was like, wow, how cool would that be? Not thinking that, it would really happen.
Right.
And now it's really happening. And you just start to think, great programs like West Virginia, Virginia Tech, Butler, and Drexel are going to be on our court in Thanksgiving week, And West Virginia was number 22 in the final AP poll last year and made it to the NCAA tournament. Virginia Tech made it to the quarterfinals of the women's NIT. So, it's really an exciting tournament that's coming to our town.
Well, I think it's great exposure for the program, but the biggest thing is, too, that's next month.
Yeah, it's right around the corner. So in my little world, I go from national tournament for women's soccer.
Right.
The next week, I'm going to host the NCAA Division I women's basketball tournament. So it's going to be a fun end of November. I don't know how much turkey we'll be eating, but other than that, it's going to be a really fun couple weeks.
Yeah, because I'm part of a program in the Bahamas, and that's the same time, and that's a big deal, great exposure, and I think it's great for the women's and the men's basketball program here for the Titans. Now let's talk about that women's soccer. We have a great opportunity to host another big-time event. Talk about that.
Yeah, definitely. We this Friday we host number 10 Monroe College, and it's going to be a great night for us. Coming off a tough loss to Daytona State, kind of like what Oliver was saying with the men. It's time for a bounce back, and this is like the perfect game for them to bounce back, facing the number 10 team in the nation. So it's gonna be a good night. 6 o'clock TV game as well. So on this channel, WEFS TV as well. So we're excited to see how they can finish now.
So how is the women's soccer team? Where do they sit right now overall in conference play?
Much like Oliver, they're 4-1 overall, 2-1 in the conference. One game behind Daytona State, and so they just have to kind of win out, just like Oliver was talking about.
Okay.
It's the same thing for the women. They just have to win out, and then it'll go down to goal differential. I believe Daytona State does host the regionals this year. They do it a little different than the men, where the number one seed doesn't get to host the final. They do the whole tournament. We hosted it last year, so Daytona State will probably host it this year. But the team's really good. It was a rainy. We saw last weekend was a crazy weekend rain-wise.
Yes, it was.
And so Sunday night they played that game, and weather that I never thought they would have even started the game, not along played the entire game. And so they played, and it was one of those crazy games, back and forth, and we had a lot of opportunities and just didn't finish to get that equalizer. So
speaking of opportunities, now the school gets to host the national tournament again for the women's soccer.
Yeah, definitely. It's going to be a fun week. It's the week before Thanksgiving, and so we've done it the last few years, and it's always a great tournament for personally for myself, just because it's the best soccer teams in the country.
Right.
They all come and they play day after day, and it's for us it's kind of like Groundhog Day. Every day you just get up and go and watch more soccer, and our team will be right in the thick of it at the end of it. There's no doubt in my mind that we'll be there and fighting for another national championship. But Tyler is really good this year.
Okay.
They're number one in the country, and they've played a lot of really good teams and won all their games so far. So it's going to be, Tyler was there last year, and we expect them to be there again this year.
So what is this set up now, right now, where they currently sit? You touched on it briefly. For the women's soccer team, how does it set up in the region and their conference and all that jazz?
Yep. So we finish out the conference. We still have 3 games. So we're just like Oliver. We're like halfway.
Okay.
We're at the halfway point. So we have to play everybody again still. But if we can win out, then we would go to regionals as the number 2 seed or number 1 seed, depending on what Daytona does. And then champion from there goes into a playoff game right into the national championship. So the tournament. So, hopefully we can keep the run going. We've been really good and gotten there every year that we've hosted, and hopefully this year's no different.
Talk about Bobby Cashman, new hire for the tennis program, a great hire, I might add. They had a little event this week, and they fared pretty well. Talk about that.
Yeah, definitely. We held the ITA Regional Championships last weekend, and 5 teams, tennis teams, and really good tennis competition, and we did really well. Unfortunately, both of our singles and doubles lost in the semifinals, but Coach Cashman's been here, less than 6 months, 7 months, and he's already put together a squad that can compete, among the best in the state, and so that's a really good sign for our program. It was a really good weekend, and the one ladies tennis player, Douglacy Linares, she had a great day. Saturday, she played a 2.5-hour match in the quarterfinals, and an hour later came in the semifinals, played another 2-hour match, lost in the third set of their semis in that, and then she had to turn around and play in the doubles in the semifinals like an hour later. So we figured over 6 hours on the court on Saturday before they actually beat her. So, but she showed a lot of resiliency, and she's a really tough player, and it's really going to be fun to see what she can do in the spring.
Yeah, that's like an Energizer Bunny. Yeah, Bobby Cashman was on the show last week, and I think it was great for the tennis team here to have Bobby Cashman as the head coach.
Yeah, it definitely is. And, that tournament's a really good fall tournament for, like Coach said afterwards, we got to see where we're at.
Yeah.
Because spring is the championship season in tennis. And so this was a good chance for Coach Cashman to see where the girls are, where they got to go to get to the next level. And I think we saw that we're a lot closer than probably anybody thought we were, and the other teams probably aren't happy about that.
Well, let's talk about women's volleyball. Coach Rasmussen, she's doing a nice job. Update us with volleyball.
Yeah, definitely. She has 9 wins this year. She plays in a good tournament. It's a tri-match in Indian River this weekend. So she'll play Indian River State, the host, and then she'll play Manatee after that. So she'll have a couple of good matches this weekend, kind of non-conference in the middle, kind of like what Oliver's doing this week too, and take a little breather before you get back into the conference season to finish up. But the volleyball season, it's anybody's to win right now. It's really tight, and so the last couple matches are going to come right down to who goes to the playoffs and who doesn't.
Well, I'll tell you what, congratulations on the breaking news, though, for the women's basketball. That's great exposure for the program, and like you said, those are 4 teams that are well known in basketball circles for the women's side.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we couldn't be more excited to host these kind of 4 teams, because that's the other side of that. You think Division I, you think, oh, they're going to have a couple mid-majors. No, we're really not having mid-majors. We're having some of the best teams in the country come and play in our court.
Well, I'll tell you what, you're the best in the biz. Keep doing what you're doing. We're lucky to have you.
Thank you.
That's all the time we have for this week's Inside Titan Sports. Remember to join us each and every week at the same time. My name is Eric Kohler, for my producer Rob Landers and Sam Hensler, saying remember, anything and everything for Titan Athletics, visit us online at EFSCTitans.com. Remember, Eastern Florida, where Titans rise.